Dude, have you seen the that symbiote looking thingy? It looks like Venom that fell into this
It
Panamanian dude's
does look like.
backyard.
Yes, dude. That shit's crazy. Dude, the video I saw, like, it looked like kind of like a serpent almost, but then it's got like all these tentacles and like things moving around. It looked like a sci-fi special effect. You're listening to Passed Out, the podcast where history, mystery, the occult, and the cosmos collide. This week, we're talking about the Rapture, or lack thereof, the Alien Earth finale, and the future of Star Wars. Stay curious, and welcome to Passed Out. Welcome to Passed Out. I'm Josh.
I'm Arash.
How you doing this week, man?
Tired. Dude.
Yeah.
So
We
I
hope.
I fell asleep last night. There's this attorney dude who you watch his body cam videos of like police arresting people, and I ended up falling asleep to it, and I had the weirdest fucking dreams, dude. Like like I was trying to hide evidence, and I was just like in all these bad situations, and obviously I was just hearing what was going on YouTube. So, and it happens when I watch it. This used to not happen, but now when I watch something like ghost ghost hunters or something like that, like people in haunted houses, I'll have like scary ass dreams. And then, but I used to fall asleep to Forensic Files just fine. I'd sleep like a baby and not have any dreams whatsoever.
That's still what I mostly fall asleep to. But at a certain point, when I'm starting to like really fall asleep, I usually turn the TV off now. I've been having trouble like actually staying asleep when the TV's on. I can't sleep with the TV on all night like I used to be able to. You know, it used to make me sleep like a baby when we were traveling together. Sports Center, bro. Just Sports Center in the hotel room, bro. After a long day of work, like boom, perfect sleep.
Yeah, I haven't tried Sports Center in a long time. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, dude. It's just like one of those. I also feel like Sports Center is not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
Uh, but man, it used to, yeah, just to also soccer. When you'd watch soccer, like sometimes, dude, it just puts me the fuck out. And then, like,
Yeah.
every once in a while, you wake up and you're like, oh,
Well, that's if you watch it on Telemundo, it's probably hard to fall asleep because they're so excited. Like Arabic
I know.
and Mexicans are the most animated commentators ever in soccer, and then you'll watch British league. He passes to that left side of the field. He's and then he scored a goal. He's like, oh, I mean, they get a little excited during the goal, but sometimes like it'll just be like, oh, what a wonderful goal.
I know. Oh, it'd be impossible to sleep to football because they're just like every play something crazy happens and there's like the announcers are going crazy. But like soccer, you got like this whole mid section where like it's just kind of chilling back and forth, and then
Mhm.
it starts getting really exciting when they get closer and closer to the goal. But then they go back to kind of chilling.
Yeah,
Really,
I mean, there's a whole strategy for like lulling the defense to sleep, and then that's
really.
yeah, yeah. It's like a possession game. They'll just pass it back and forth, trying to tire out the midfield, and then out of nowhere, they'll just like push it forward and then they'll attack.
Damn, that's that's interesting. That makes me appreciate soccer a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
more
there's
than
a
I do.
lot of strategy to soccer.
Oh man, that's
A lot more than like once you start watching it more, it makes a lot more sense of what they're trying to
yeah.
do.
I think I have a weird thing with soccer because it was like one of those games that I was not a sports kid and like they stuck me in soccer when I was like 5, and I did not understand what was happening. I did not understand the game. The only goal I scored was not in the right goal.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude, like just and I'm like this like one of those memories that just like traumatizes me in the middle of the night. Like 5-year-old me just scoring a goal on the wrong side, being so excited, everybody was so mad at me.
There's a lot of memories I
I never
have
played.
of
I
me
never played.
cringing.
Okay.
A lot of memories that I have. I'll just cringe. Thankfully, I can't think of them right now because they're just like in the back of my mind with like cobwebs growing in
Uh-huh.
there. once in a while, it just pops up, and I'll be driving or something, and I'll be like, "Oh, it sucks."
Yeah, it does.
So we survived the rapture.
We did. I saw some really funny stuff about the Rapture during the week. And have you been seeing memes and just like conversations about the Rapture
I've seen the
online at all?
conversations. I really didn't get to why they thought or September 23rd was going to be the end of the world. What was up with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really know why they thought that. I just like it came out of nowhere and like all of a sudden like all these like kind of Christians were like the rapture's coming. What really made me think about it was I saw this one conversation where this lady was talking to like a neighbor through text and she was like trying to get him to take her dog. She's like, "Well, I'm about to be raptured and I need somebody to watch my dog."
Dude, there's a whole
And the
commercial.
neighbor and the guy next door was like, Are you saying that I'm not gonna go to heaven and you want me to watch your dog while you do?" And I was like, "Man, this is such a crazy thing that's happening right now."
There's
There
a
have
whole
always
commercial,
been
dude. They had,
really.
yeah, I saw it on Hassan Piker's Twitch stream, and it was a whole commercial about like, we'll take care of your pets while during the rapture. And it's like, I don't know if it was a scam or if it was parody, but it looked like a legit commercial.
That's
There's so many
crazy.
scams I bet you could do. But okay, so there was a viral video by South African pastor Joshua Malakela who claimed Jesus told him the rapture, the ascension of believers to heaven, would begin on September 23rd during the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah. So one dude just going schizo sparked this whole thing. It happens every so often, dude. Like, for, you know, ever since Y2K, then you
I
have
know.
2012, but it seems
Mhm.
like with social media now the dates come closer together. And then
Yeah.
you keep hearing about 2027 or even 2026 with like aliens coming. Some people even think sometime in October with Three Eyed Atlas coming. And then once those two don't happen, you'll hear 2027, I'm sure, with Disclosure. And then after that, the next one I could think of, there'll be more in between, but
Yeah.
2036 when um, it's like the next Y2K. We kind of covered that on another
We have
episode.
talked about that. And 2012 was the end of the Mayan calendar, right? Or the Aztec calendar, something like that.
Yeah,
Is that
but
why they thought that?
it
Okay.
just cycles again.
Yeah.
It's like I think I could be wrong. I think it's like the age of Aquarius happens then.
Okay. The Mayan calendar designers were like, "Well, we're out of space on these rocks. I guess
They,
it ends here."
think
And
of
then just
how
like
long they had to write those
thousands of
calendars,
years.
though,
Yeah, dude.
and how they even thought of that. It's pretty intense.
It is. Yeah.
And then for them to have extensive, I mean, they just knew that it was gonna cycle again. That I don't think that gets covered enough. Yeah, I know the Mayans get covered a lot, but
Yeah.
that's really impressive.
It's super impressive. I think a lot of it has to do with the sky, right? Just like their knowledge and understanding of the sky and the way stars move and kind of
Totally.
circle around and like it's just light pollution has like kind of caused us to disconnect from the way that like star charts kind of helped lay out time for millennia before we got here,
I
you
saw
know?
something where during COVID, people in LA started calling police because there's they thought like shit was going on in the sky. It was just they could actually see the
Stars,
stars and
less smog in the air because nobody's fucking driving.
way
Like, you
less
just,
smog. There was so much less
yeah,
smog everywhere.
that's crazy. Yeah, dude, I think you're right. Like, also, Dallas was really slow for a while and there was like no traffic for a bit. And it was really interesting because this is a city that is hard to drive in and always kind of crazy. So,
The Las Vegas Strip. I knew a few people who would skateboard through it. You know, on the boulevard. No
That sounds
cars.
fun.
Yeah,
That sounds
I
fun.
wish I would have done something like that.
Just cruising through, yeah. Vegas would have been interesting to be in the pandemic, honestly.
It was. There's some aspects I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss around that time,
Yeah.
getting paid to be home. That was fun, but
I
it
don't
got
think
boring
we've
quick.
I don't think we've shifted back from that. There's like an entitlement, like with money now, and there's a lot of weird stuff that I don't think. I think the pandemic was a huge shift culturally for us, and I don't think we've recovered for it, and I don't think we're going to. I feel like we've been off the rails since then, and I don't know how to get it back. How we're gonna come back?
It was kind of this generation's 9/11.
Yeah,
Um, dude, have you seen th that symbiote looking thingy? It looks like Venom that fell into this Panamanian
it
dude's
does look like.
backyard.
Yes, dude. That shit's crazy. It really does look like Venom. It kind of looks like a dude, the video I saw, like it looked like a kind of like a serpent almost, but then it's got like all these tentacles and like things moving around. It looked like a sci-fi special effect.
I thought it
It really
was
kind of does look like Venom a little bit. Like it's
I don't know what he can create to mimic that because you see it grow when he puts it in the safe. It's like
yeah.
continuously growing, and then he puts it in water and it's moving all weird. It can't be like can't be fungus, right?
I don't know. Have you read much about it? I really just only saw one video about it and I didn't really see what was happening.
He found it.
So,
So he found it in like the soil that was flaming out, and then he gets a hose. He washes it off. He puts out the fire. Finds this little looks like a potato at first, like this silver potato. But then he puts that egg thingy on the glass, and you hear it. It's pretty heavy, and then this little
yeah.
thing hatches out of it, and then he puts it in glass and it starts growing. And then he's mentioning that sunlight and just air in general makes it grow. So he puts it
Whoa.
somewhere dark so it could stop growing as much, but he keeps checking it and he keeps opening his safe and it's bigger every time. There's one point where his smaller safe, it starts growing out of it, out of the
Like the cracks on the door?
yes, yes.
What?
And then he goes, takes it somewhere. And I think he was gonna donate it or have them research it. He was cutting pieces off of it and sending it to scientists, apparently. And then eventually he just took the main symbiote and yeah, that I kinda lost track from there. But there was a more recent video that I saw where it was in water and it was kinda just like looked like it was swimming around. It's really fucking odd. He doesn't feed it, doesn't do anything. It just grows with the sun.
That's so crazy, man. I didn't know about the safe, dude. That's trippy as fuck. It was coming out.
Yeah.
Man,
Kinda
that's
reminds you of
wild.
Alien Earth.
Kind of does. Which just finished. There's going to be a season 2. Like they set it up for a season 2. I don't really know what they're going to do in season 2, the way that it ended, but it's kind of crazy.
What happened?
Okay, so how much do you know?
Explain it to me like I know nothing.
Okay, so it starts. We're about to spoil the whole season. Alien Earth spoilers right here, right now. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Here we go. Okay, so it starts off basically with you're in like a research facility with like a genius. They explain that the Earth has been divided by 5 corporations. Wayland Yutani's one of them. There's 4 others. They all have taken over parts of the Earth and planets in our solar system. Okay, so like these 5 corporations have basically become the government, and they all have their own sections of Earth, sections of space that they control. Okay, you're the only 2 companies you really need to know about are Wayland Yutani and Prodigy. Okay, Weyland-Yutani, everybody knows that's the main alien company. That is every alien movie that's happened so far has involved Weyland-Yutani. They are the main group. They designed the synthetics. They everything that happened is because of them. Now, you're following Prodigy a lot in the show. Prodigy is a company that is like they're one of the most powerful. They have synthetics, but they're developing a technology to keep your mind alive forever by transferring your consciousness from your body into a synthetic body when you are dying. They think that it's better to transfer children. There's a lot of Peter Pan stuff going on in this. Like they name all the kids after the Lost Boys. The main girl that you're following, which is Sydney Chandler, Kyle Chandler's daughter, actually, which I think is cool. She's really good. I really liked her in that show. So, but she's Wendy. She's kind of the leader of them. She helps all the other kids transition, and in the background what you find out it's been happening later on in the season is into in Prodigy territory, a Weyland-Yutani ship crashes that has collected 5 specimens of aliens from an alien planet. They have xenomorph eggs. They have the Oculus, which is like this thing with like 8 eyes and tentacles, and it like takes over your body by sucking your eye out, and then it can control your whole nervous system through the optic nerve.
I saw that with the
Um,
sheep or the
with the
lamb or the
sheep,
yeah.
yeah, with the sheep, yeah. So there's that, and then there's like these flies that eat synthetics that eat like technology and stuff like that. And then there's like these blood parasites that connect to your neck and then suck all the blood out of your body. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's some cool shit going on. So there's a lot of cool parasite shit. So like um for all we know, the Panamonian symbiote is part of part of what Weyland-Yutani took from
No.
this alien planet. Who knows? So like Prodigy. So this ship crashes on Prodigy. Prodigy, the synthetics, and Prodigy, they grab all the aliens, bring it back to their secure facility. Well, now Weyland-Yutani is trying to figure out how to get their shit back. Weyland-Yutani has cyborgs now, where they're like people who are getting like upgraded body parts when it's kind of like RoboCop almost, like, but not really like the suits. Like it's just like the guy's got like a synthetic arm now
So like
that's
cyberpunk in a way.
kind of like cyberpunk, kind of like Luke Skywalker. Like you can't really tell that it's a cybernetic hand, but like it is. So and the end of the season, basically all hell breaks loose. All the aliens are fucking loose on the island. But it turns out that the main synthetic girl, she's like a special synthetic. She is doing stuff that I've never seen other synthetics do. Like she can communicate with technology. She can change the channel with like her fingers. She can manipulate tech, and she can understand the xenomorph language. So
She's like
she can
cyborg
talk.
of DC.
Yeah, so she's like talking to like this. She's like talking to the xenomorph that has hatched out of like they hatch her brother lost part of his lung, and they put like they didn't put a face hugger on it, but they pulled like the larva out of the face hugger that it drops in your body, and they attached it to this lung, and it became a new type of xenomorph, and she can talk to it. So it's kind of crazy. The season ended with basically the whole island on lockdown and her controlling 2 xenomorphs, and Weyland-Yutani's like approaching the island, and I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? So like they're definitely setting up a second season. They really didn't kill off a whole lot of the main characters. They kind of left it where everybody's still mostly alive. So we'll see what happens. But man, the xenomorphs have killed so many people on the island. Like they're just fucking like dead bodies of like soldiers and security, and like all the help is basically dead except for the main characters.
Damn.
So yeah, dude, it's super interesting. If you like Alien, I highly recommend it. I've seen a lot of people who were on board until about episode 7, and then people started. I feel like I've seen people on the internet starting to kind of break down and be like, yeah, I don't know, it didn't really feel like it landed, but I thought it did. The last episode I felt could have been a little bit better, but like I feel like they kind of pulled back to set up for a second season.
So it
Like
was 8 episodes total?
8 episodes total.
What
Yeah,
happened in
it's on.
episode 7 that people fell off?
That's when shit kind of goes off the rails. Like when that's when like up until that point, like the first 2 episodes, you're really dealing with the ship crashing into Prodigy territory and them getting this xenomorph and stuff like that back to the facility. Okay, and then episode 3, you're kind of science missioning, like everybody's doing research on these aliens and like you're learning a lot about the aliens. Episode 4 is an extension of that where like now there's like you're starting to see more stuff happening between Wayland Yutani and Prodigy and their lawyers and kind of all this background stuff, just more story. Episode 5 I think is my favorite episode because episode 5 gives you the backstory on how Wayland Yutani's ship crashed into Prodigy's territory. And it's basically an entire alien movie packed into an hour-long episode because you're seeing the entire ship, you're seeing the entire crew, and how they get destroyed by the things that they picked up.
I see.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, like a xenomorph gets loose on that ship that because somebody got face hugged, and it all the aliens get loose. It's kind of crazy. They show you like kind of what all the aliens can do in that episode, and I loved it. That was my favorite episode. And then episode 6, you're really kind of starting to build towards the things that are happening, and it's a little crazy on the island. And then episode 7 is kind of where I see people, we're getting upset and like kind of starting to lose traction. And I think that's just because um, shit really starts happening in episode 7. Like you really start seeing everybody kind of turn on each other from the main cast, and like there's a lot of suspicions and things like that. But I liked it. I liked where they were going. Episode 7 ended and they were like on a ship, and you thought that like a couple of the main characters were about to escape, and then episode 8 starts and they've been captured and they're back inside the facility in like the main center, and you're like, they don't show how they got captured or what happened. So I'm like, how did you guys capture them? Like they had a xenomorph, they fucked everybody up on this ship. Like
Weird.
yeah, dude, in the end of episode 7, I love it because one of the cyborg girls goes kind of crazy after an enter. One of the main girls, one of the girls that they transferred into like the cyborg from the beginning, she has like she has a weird experience with the Oculus because it's trying to get into her eye, but it realizes it's not a real eye and then like just kind of detaches. But she's like shocked. So she starts losing her fucking mind when they get back, and they reset her memory. They turn her memories back to wipe out that memory because like she starts thinking she's pregnant, and they're like, girl, you're a synthetic. You can't have a baby. And she's like, I'm going to have a baby. And like starts getting all crazy. So they wipe part of her memory, and that makes her just like kind of fucking crazy. Like at the end of episode 7, like when the soldiers like kind of try and confront them on the boat, she's standing there and she's holding this like stuffed like goose, and she just holds the goose in front of the soldier's face, and she goes, Miss Strawberry, says, fuck you. And then he throws the stuffed animal in the water, and then she grabs his jaw and ripped his whole fucking jaw off. And I was like, oh shit. Like you put 6-year-olds in like these strongest bodies that could possibly be. So like obviously some shit's gonna happen. Like these kids don't know their own strength. They don't know how strong they are. They don't know like that. Their synthetics definitely are invincible. You see them get fucked up all the time, and like the white fucking milk shit come out of them that's like running their cortex. So but yeah, overall, I thought it was a good show. I'm excited for season 2. Look, I love the Alien and Predator lore. I love this whole universe, so I'm here for it. I'm really excited for the next Predator movie and the fact that they've got a Wayland Yutani fucking synth in there and Elle Fanning playing that synth. I think that we're in for a ride. I'm here for what's happening with Alien and Predator.
We'll see what happens with the Panamanian alien as well. I'm I don't know, man. Part of me wants to think it's a hoax, but then it looks so good. And this just random dude in Panama doing all these videos, and I wish you'd send some to somebody in America.
Yeah.
But in a way, I'm glad. At least I don't think he has, because um, just hearing the synopsis of Alien Earth kind of worries me about that.
Yeah,
Uh,
just like being having your body just like completely violated by like an alien that can take over your whole system or fucking like use you as a vessel to hatch something. Yeah, dude, the body horror that comes with Alien, especially the first one where you're like, "Oh my god, face huggers and these things blowing out of your chests," which if you're looking for a face hugger to blow through someone's chest, it happens multiple times in Alien Earth. It's how these things are born. So, but yeah, I feel like Alien Earth had a little bit of every piece of the Alien franchise in it. It had one, it had like the kind of scary space story where the aliens are, kind of just like a psychological kind of horror thriller happening, and then you had all these marines running around, so it felt kind of like aliens in certain parts, and there's multiple xenomorphs here and there throughout the show, and then you're seeing different creatures hatch different types of xenomorphs, and you're seeing I kind of feel like I even feel like there was like hints of like alien resurrection in there, the way that the main girl Wendy is kind of like able to speak to the aliens and like kind of have them protect her a little bit, and she's like closer to them than like the rest of them. It kind of feels like Ripley when they go way into the future in Alien Resurrection, where she's like like their mother basically. It's They kind of touched on everything. So it was super interesting. Alien Resurrection is definitely not even close to anywhere near a good Alien movie, but I can respect people not wanting to completely rewrite lore all the time. Every time they reboot something or try and make something else, like just trying to stick to the original trajectory and just like kind of understand some of it. The only thing that seems like everybody seems like they're trying to avoid Prometheus, the lore of Prometheus, which I don't understand. I don't understand people's hesitation and hatred for Prometheus. I fucking love that movie. That's like one of my honestly, probably my second favorite Alien movie, maybe third actually. I think I love Aliens and then Alien and then probably Prometheus is like my third favorite Alien movie. I think it's good. I love that movie. I love the idea behind it. I think that Michael Fassbender is a great synthetic in that movie. Like he plays such a good thing, but like also in Alien Earth, dude, Timothy Oliphant, fucking his performance as the synthetic on that show is fantastic. So
Michael Fassbender, I mean, say what you will about the Assassin's Creed movie, but he seems like he's prone to acting in these blockbuster type films that are about uh, established franchises like X-Men. I thought he was a great Magneto.
he's a great Magneto, dude.
That
Like
Nazi scene is so great when he's in Argentina. You know what I'm talking about?
is the one where he puts the quarter through his head.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Okay, in the opening scene of like X-Men where like when they first show you adult Magneto and he's just like
yeah.
yeah, dude, that one's badass. That's also how he is that I think that's how he kills Kevin Bacon's character in the end of that, which Kevin Bacon is Sebastian Shaw in that movie.
Yeah,
So, which is
he's good.
actually Sebastian Shaw is typically married to Emma Frost when Emma Frost was a villain. Before Emma Frost became a good guy after Xavier disappeared and after Jean disappeared, and she ended up starting sleeping with Cyclops. Which honestly, I think that's my favorite comic run of Cyclops is when he's not with Jean Grey and he's running around with Emma Frost. I think that they're a fun couple.
Do you think um, Fassbender would be able to become Magneto again in the Marvel universe, or is that not allowed because he was already Magneto in uh,
I
for
th-
Fox's?
so he could show up in Doomsday, but after Doomsday, they're about to reset everything. It seems like they're just like, hey, let's just give the characters from these Fox universes a nice swan song in Doomsday, and then they're recasting the X-Men completely. So I do not think that Fassbender will come back, which at this point, dude, like by time they start making it, so if Doomsday and the final Avengers movie in 2020, so Secret Wars, so you have Doomsday and then Secret Wars. After 2027, they'll start kind of making a new X-Men movie. So the earliest you're going to see an X-Men movie is probably 28 or 29. And at that point, does Fassbender really want to come back? It's been 20 years since X-Men First Class came out, and I feel like he's in a very different place now, bro. Like X-Men First Class came out in 2010, I think, or 2011. So like almost 20 years he's been playing Magneto. And you think about Ian McKellen and how old he is now, and like that
That's
he'd been
crazy.
Magneto fucking like almost 30 years at that point. So
Oh yeah, Ian McKellen. There's no way that's going to become. But when
bro,
you put
what's
it into
crazy?
perspective, is insane that you're right. It came out almost 20 years ago. Well, I mean, at this point, 15. By
Yeah, but
that
by
time, oh
time
my god,
Yeah, dude, by time that comes out, yeah, like they'll like this will be the third reboot of the X-Men essentially. Even though the young X-Men and the old X-Men, they kind of are part of the same timeline and they're just different parts of that timeline. Uh First Class kind of felt like a soft reboot of the X-Men. And then people were like, "We liked the other X-Men," and then they made, in my opinion, the best X-Men movie, which is Days of Future
that
Past,
is the yep. I agree.
where they kind of combined both casts, and
So good.
so
You're right.
good.
That is the best X-Men movie. I don't care what
Yeah, I think
anybody says.
X2 is probably the second best X-Men movie, and then I do really like First Class. Apocalypse, take it or leave it. Fucking Dark Phoenix is fucking trash. There's been hit or miss X-Men movies, so but
The
I
last
love
one
X-Men.
was the last one X-Men Apocalypse.
No, the last one was Dark Phoenix,
Well, yeah, dude.
which they keep trying to do that storyline in movies because it is like the Dark Phoenix storyline is one of the most popular X-Men storylines of all time, and I just I don't think you can do it in one movie. I think that is a slow build. I think the way that X-Men tried to do it in the original series, where they kind of like showed the Phoenix Force in Jean at the end of X2, where she disappears. But like, I then ultimately like X3, they're like, okay, well now we got to deal with Dark Phoenix, and like, I just
She's
I
just
don't like
too
the way they
OP.
handled. Yeah, she's just too OP, which I do like that. I do like how it ended because it ends like it should, like with Wolverine fucking killing her. But um, which I
That was a
it's
great
just so
scene.
good. It is a great scene, and I thought that Hugh Jackman did a great job of like carrying over like what they did in the animated series and the comic books. But like, and then in the Wolverine, like Wolverine is like he is like plagued by the fact that he killed Jean, like a woman he loved, like, and he's like running around Japan and like he keeps dreaming of her and like seeing these like weird visions of her, and like I I really liked the Wolverine. I thought that like they did a good job on that, and like I like that the Wolverine kind of continues the like that version of the X-Men. The problem with the Wolverine movies is the timelines are so out of whack in each movie. It's like the first one you're like running around with Deadpool and Sabretooth, but like even that movie has redeeming qualities because like dude, Leaf Schreiber as Sabretooth is fucking fantastic.
He's so
Which
good. I love him.
dude,
As Ray Donovan, I love that show so much.
yeah, dude. Okay, so I saw another fan casting yesterday that I thought was great. I saw somebody on Reddit talking about how they think that if Alan Richardson's not going to be Batman, he should be Sabretooth, and I was like, I'm fucking here for that, dude. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so that was pretty fucking good. So,
Well, man. Um, I don't have much else, honestly.
okay, I've got a few more things we want to talk about. While we're talking about Wolverine, do we want to talk about the PS5 trailer for Wolverine?
Oh, I
Have you
haven't seen it. I really haven't
Okay,
seen it. Yeah.
they don't show a whole lot. They just show, they do show a lot of the gameplay. It kind of looks, like a typical Marvel kind of action masher, but like Wolverine running around just stabbing shit looks fucking cool.
Is
And they
it
did show
is it 3D or is it like a side scroller?
it's 3D.
Okay.
It's going to be an open world. It looks just like Spider-Man, dude. It looks like an open world Wolverine game where you're running around just like killing people and
Arkham
like the
Knight with Wolverine.
kind of, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, dude, which I think is cool. I saw a lot of old Wolverine villains in there. Like, dude, the opening shot is like Omega Red is like trying to strangle him, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I was like, "All right,
Yeah.
cool, we got Omega Red." And then I saw the Reavers fighting him, and he's like tearing apart Reavers, which are like the cyborgs that run around with Lady Deathstrike. So I'm like, they didn't show Lady Deathstrike in the trailer, but if the Reavers are there, obviously Lady Deathstrike's gonna be there. The only villain they showed a lot of his like Wolverine villains in this. The only villain that they really did not show is they do not show Sabretooth, but there's no way that Sabretooth is not going to be in this fucking game.
Hmm.
Right? Like he's like the main Wolverine villain. Like that is so yeah, I'm excited for that. But yeah, I didn't have a whole lot to say. Like it's just a teaser and a little bit like they show a teaser so you see a little bit of story and you hear Wolverine's voiceover which just feels very Wolverine in the beginning just like, his typical Wolverine stuff. Just
Is that going to be
I'm
a
good at what
PS5
I do.
exclusive?
I don't I think it might be, dude.
Yeah,
I kind of
Marvel
feel like
or
it might be.
Sony
I'm not
has a special relationship. I mean, obviously, Sony has a special relationship with PlayStation. Breaking news.
well, they own it, but they also have a Sony has a very big relationship with Marvel, and they have to keep that relationship alive because they own Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah,
Marvel needs Spider-Man, so they always have to make these deals.
but
And Sony has
Spider-Man wasn't
tried to do
on Xbox. It was a PS5 or PlayStation exclusive
PlayStation
for
exclusive.
all those
Yeah,
games.
dude, and that's kind of why I feel like Wolverine's going to be PlayStation exclusive. I wrote down PS5 trailer. I'm pretty sure I saw PS5 exclusive in that trailer. So, yeah, we'll see. And then um and the only other news I really had from this week is the Mandalorian and Grogu teaser came out this week, which looks just like the Mandalorian, but again, like, dude, Pedro Pascal has one. He says one thing in the entire trailer. Like, literally, the whole trailer is just him flying around as a Mandalorian and Grogu fucking doing things that Grogu does, just trying to steal food and shit, using the Force to eat.
Other than other than Rogue One, I think The Mandalorian has been one of the few bright spots of Disney's Star Wars adaptations.
I agree.
Uh, I love the character of the Acolyte and how he uses the Forbidden Jedi. Uh, what is it called? But like he uses the Forbidden Jedi moves where he turns it off and turns it on again.
But yeah, the lightsaber tricks, dude. I know
Yeah,
that looked really cool. I really liked the acolyte. Like I did like that it was, cool fight scenes and stuff. I feel like every Star Wars show I've watched has had a few moments where I really liked it.
yeah.
I
Even
just
Andor, as slow as it is, it's. I know you and I appreciate it just because it gets very political and it's pretty cool. But I could understand people's critiques of it, saying that like it's a slow burn.
dude, I don't think I've ever had Star Wars aside from watching Star Wars as a child and like having like, strong feelings as a kid towards those movies. I don't think I've been emotionally moved in a way that Andor made me feel, especially, towards the end of season 1, dude, like there are some like real emotional moments where like I really felt it and I do feel I feel like Andor really kind of mirrors some of the shit that's going on, right now in America. Like the fact like there's no way around like just knowing that like, hey, the Imperials, the galactic fucking empire, bunch of fucking space fascists. Like just straight up like that. So it feels very reminiscent of some things that are happening in our time. So like there's shit on Andor where you can't talk bad about the galactic empire. You can't say bad things. They're coming for you. Like they're just
Jedi
it feels
Survivor
too
2
close
kind
to
of
home.
talks about that too. A lot of the same motifs
Yeah.
appear in both the
Mhm.
game and the show.
Yeah, well, he's because they take place kind of in the same timeline. Just I think Jedi Survivor takes place a good bit before Andor, because Jedi Survivor's like Jedi Fallen Order takes place right after the fall of the Jedi.
The thing I was going to say is, I wonder how many of the elements of the how much of the elements of any of the shows or even video games will fall into Starfighter.
I'm not sure, but have you seen the first image of Ryan Gosling from
No,
Starfighter?
no, I just saw.
He looks pretty good in like they've kind of just showed him in like a Starfighter outfit, and he looks pretty good. I was like, okay, all right, cool. So I'm excited for Starfighter. I kind of feel like it's going to be a shift in where the movies are going. I hope it's not more of the same, but I really hope that it's kind of a let's get back to some good Star Wars
It's
movies.
going to be episode 10, right? Is that what they're doing?
No, I think episode 10 is different than
Okay,
this. I think episode 10 is the Ray movie that they were talking about having Ray do, which I don't really look. I like Daisy Ridley in those movies. I like her. I have no problem with her. I just didn't really like the writing of those movies. Like I just felt like they were trying to The Force Awakens, like they're really just rehashing what already happened.
right.
And
John Boyega came out recently saying that if he were to do the movies himself, he would have had all the characters struggle a lot more because he thought that became powerful way too easily, and that kind of
mhm,
ruined the development of the characters, which I completely agree with him on. And the way they
yeah.
wrote out his character was really weird. To, he's in episode 8, and then you don't really see him in
So
9.
he's in 9. He's running around with them the whole time.
I mean, like, he's not a main part of it.
He's not. No, he's not. Like so when he first got hired, he was supposed to eventually become a Jedi. And in 9, like there's like a moment where he's trying to tell her something, and like a lot of people assume that he was trying to tell her he had feelings, but like he was like starting to like throughout that movie, if you notice, like if you watch him and what he's doing, he's starting to feel the force a little bit throughout that movie, and I think he's like trying to tell Ray that he was, can feel the force. So
Okay, I never knew that. It makes a lot more sense, and it's a
i-
better storyline than him trying to
yeah,
tell her.
that's how I take it, and maybe I'm projecting, but like that's how it's been a long time since I've watched that, but like that's how I felt from it when I watched it, because I do like John Boyega, and I do like the fact that they were like, okay, let's revamp a stormtrooper and bring him into the good side. Let's have him like really have like an emotional breakdown about just eradicating these villages and trying to kill people like the way that they're doing.
Right.
So, I do think that like the Force Awakens was trying to set up some good stuff. I just feel like you kept switching
Yeah.
directors. You let other people have like the reins, and I just feel like everybody wanted to take everything in their own directions, and nobody agreed on where it should go, and it just ends up being this very disjointed.
Convoluted mess.
Yeah, and like you end up having this like trilogy that's just very messy and feels uneven and just doesn't really stick the landing very well, and like they made some really decisive choices in there, especially some of the stuff that they did in The Last Jedi, which I do think every one of these movies has a few redeeming qualities. Like The Last Jedi has one of the coolest fight scenes I've ever fucking seen. Like
Yeah, and
the
one thing I really like about the latest trilogy is, my niece likes Star Wars now, and
yeah.
having a female lead was a good idea.
Mhm.
I know a lot of dudes are misogynistic about it, but it's really cool seeing my niece excited about something like Star Wars, and
Yeah.
that's where they really shine in this new trilogy.
Yeah. I also think that's something that the Disney Plus shows are doing well. And maybe that's why some of them aren't doing as well as other shows, and why you see a lot of criticism, because there are a lot more men criticizing these things than women. But there are a lot of female leads in the Disney Plus shows. You've got Ahsoka leading one show. I feel like the Acolyte is pretty female driven. Like, you're really dealing with the twins in the whole thing. Like, those are the I would consider those the main characters of the show, even though you're dealing with a lot of the side characters and what's happening around them. But those two are like the main catalyst of the show and what's going on.
Right.
So I do think there's a lot of female led stuff, and Ahsoka so far is really Ahsoka's female led, and like that's really the only show that they're making another season of right now.
There's a
So
lot of I mean, I know she was in a lot of the extended universe stuff, but
yes,
um, there's a lot of story to explore with her
yes, there
still.
is. So much. She was a little girl in the Clone Wars, and now she's like in her 40s, and she's probably one of the most powerful. Can't really call her a Jedi. She kind of walks the line, which is why her lightsabers are white, because she's what they consider a gray Jedi,
Um,
which I think is sick as fuck. So, but I think that's really all I got this week.
well, man,
All right, well, everybody, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do below, and we will see you guys next week.
bye.
So, stay curious.